Okay, so this class will be recorded, no? And I'll upload this on our Google Classroom for reference of some people. So I just made the announcement that the first lecture exam will be on March 12th. This is a Wednesday. You should stick to the schedule that is in the course syllabus. So for those who are not aware, this is the schedule of the exam. No, this is the first lecture exam schedule. Now, there is also the lab exam, upcoming lab exam. So, i-announce ko na din, no? So, it's right here. A lot of people are saying, Doc, wala sa course syllabus. It's right here. So, it's March 21. That's the date of the first laboratory exam. Can you please calendar this so that we are not getting confused, no? So, okay. So, you still have a couple of exercises with Doc Cherry. So, you'll see this. That's the schedule. Okay. So today we will just discuss now what are the important points that you need to study for in the exam, and then we'll just review some of these topics. No, I won't repeat the lectures, no, hindi ko give lectures, but what I want to emphasize in class is in this session is how you or what are the possible questions to understand things, what I expect from you, so that you can be very well prepared for the exam. Okay. I will also clarify some things that have been asked before, no, and what I noticed are some points of confusion for some of the students. And I will also address questions. So if you have questions, no, you can prepare your questions and then you can direct message and I will answer some of your questions. Okay. So this is your opportunity to consult, to make clarifications if there's any question. Okay. So let's start with the first topic, which is the introduction to microbiology. And this also includes the second topic, which is nature of the microbial world, no? So you already have this PowerPoint, right? So for the discovery of the microbial world, the main point here is that your, hold on, kita naman yung admit. Okay. Um, Okay, so for this introduction, our main point here is that the bacteria, they originated from bacteria that resembled anaerobic bacteria, and that the main evidence that we have that bacteria existed are the cyanobacteria. And we have some definitions, no, so I will not repeat this. We have definition of microbiology, spontaneous generation theory, and I think in the quiz, no, we already emphasized that I need you to understand what this means. And also, you have some experiments, no, or ways that the spontaneous generation started to become debunked. No? So paano na-debunk yung spontaneous generation theory, right? So then we will see the people who have contributed to microbiology. No? Dito na nagsistart si Anton Bandiwano. So in the exam, no, I expect you to know who these people are, who are these scientists, and what is their main contribution. So for example, I might ask, who is the grandfather of microbiology? No, so I expect you to know that it's Anton Bandi. Okay. Then I also expect you to know the experiments that were performed and what's the design of the experiment, no? And if you understand, no, what the experiment is, then you should be able to explain the results and why it was able to disprove the spontaneous generation theory. So we'd have two examples, no, si Francesco Redi, tsaka si Louis Pasteur. So those are part of the exam. And then you have a list, no, of the important names in microbiology. I know these are this will require quote unquote rote memorization, no? But if you um, learn to appreciate kung ano yung mga contribution ng bawat isang tao na to, then you should be able to remember, no, what is their main, uh, what was the contribution of these people and what their names are. Okay. So,
Magulo.
kasama dyan yung history ng first vaccine and also yung first antibiotic. Diba? We talked about this in class, no? Next is the the contribution of Pasteur and Koch and especially yung Koch's postulates. So, yung Koch's postulates, nakalagay naman dito kung ano yung criteria, right? Yung pinaka importante sa akin is for you to be able to understand what is this for? Bakit pa ginagawa tong experiment na to? And bakit kailangan sequential yung experiment so that you can demonstrate, no, that these are the disease is caused by a particular organism. So bakit ganon, 'di ba? So yun yung I hope that you will be able to gather from this slide, right? So um if you understand this, then you'll be fine. Next is nature of the microbial world. So mostly in this chapter, no, or in this topic, we are differentiating the eukaryotes and the prokaryotes. And we already established the importance of the organelles, no. So in eukaryotes, this is uh, the the functions within the cell are compartmentalized, no. The eukaryotes as opposed to the prokaryotes, 'di ba? Hindi siya compartmentalized or it's in the cytoplasm. Um, so, if you have an understanding of the main difference between prokaryotes and eukaryotes, then you should be able to answer some questions in the exam. Clarifications, no? Okay, so some students were confused. Sabi, yung protein translation ba, nag-o-occur ba siya sa no, no, it doesn't happen in the nucleus, no. What happens in the nucleus is the DNA replication, no, the copying of the DNA before mitosis, and then to have the mRNA, no, the production of the RNA, or what we call transcription, no. So this RNA, no, we have uh, the RNA polymerase. This is the enzyme that facilitates this process. No, so this messenger RNA um once it's been transcribed, no, it will be translocated or it will be transferred, no, to the outside of the nucleus into the cytoplasm where it will serve as a template for the ribosomes, no, to translate them into proteins, no. So yung protein translation, it occurs plasm for the eukaryotes, but the transcription and DNA replication, it occurs in the nucleus for the eukaryotes, okay? Pero sa bacteria, since bacteria yung pinag-uusapan natin, 'di ba? All of this, we don't have the organelles, we don't have the nucleus, we don't have compartmentalization. So, all of these processes will occur within the cytoplasm for the bacteria. So, yun yung main difference. Okay? So, huwag malilito dun sa mga processes na yun, no? So, yung DNA replication, transcription, and protein translation. Okay? So, next is, ayan, so meron ding mga other differences that you need to look at. So, nandito naman yung list, no? So, we already mentioned this, yung mitosis, no? It occurs the prokaryotes fission or budding mechanism by which it replicates. Okay. Next is the relative size. So, I have emphasized this in class kasi minsan yung ibang estudyante hindi nila naiisip kung ano yung tinitignan nila sa microscope. And then, nagugulat na lang sila, yun pala yun. So, yung bacteria, ganito lang siya kaliit. No? So, yung unit of measure, I expect you to understand that these are in nanometer. So, 1,000 nanometer. This is equal to how many? 10 micrometers. No? Yung micrometer at saka nanometer, yung difference nun, I expect you to understand. No? So, approximately cocci, no, bacilli. These are about 1 to 5 micrometer in size. Some organisms are 10 micrometer, no. And then the viruses, the unit of measure that we use is the nanometer, okay? Then, no, yung virus, viroids, and prions. Okay, some clarification, no? In the quiz, some people answered, yung prokaryotes daw, kasama daw yung virus, viroids, doon. Is it included? Yes or no? Hindi po. No? So yung virus, viroids, and prions, these are not considered as prokaryotes. Okay? These are not bacteria. And they are not considered as living organisms. Okay? So these are non-living as well as no, they depend on the host, no, to reproduce, no, or to replicate. And yung sa virus naman, what I wanted to emphasize is this slide, no? So because this slide tells us a lot about the viruses and how they are classified, no? So in one way or another, I expect you to understand these divisions, no? So there is DNA and RNA viruses. So these are the DNA viruses, these are the RNA viruses. We also can see, no, yung single-stranded RNA, a lot or plenty of the families, no, virus families are considered to be under this classification. There's also what we call the enveloped and the non-enveloped viruses. No? So, ano ba yung pinaka-main structure ng virus? So, yung iba nalilito dun sa terminology. So, yun, yung tawag dun sa so mainly, it's the nucleic acid and the capsid, DNA or RNA, single-stranded or double-stranded. Nakita naman natin dito yung division, no? So double-stranded DNA, and then we have one example of the single-stranded DNA virus, the parvovirus. Then you have a single-stranded RNA group, marami sila. But we also have double-stranded RNA, that are right here, reovirus, Virna, and single-stranded RNA. These are the most simple viruses, no? The ssRNA viruses. So you have the picorna and the calisi. Yung protein code, yun yung, so yung nucleic acid, that's the main component, and the capsid. So yung capsid is the structural component of the virus. So it's composed of a structural protein, no? And they may appear as different shapes and sizes. No? Now, yung envelope, is this a main component of the virus? No. Okay. Why? Because this glycolipid envelope is present in some viruses, but in some viruses, it's not. So, yung pinaka-basic na component ng virus ay nucleic acid and the capsid. The capsid is made of protein. So, yun po yun. Okay? And then we have yung different classification of the virus based on the appearance of the nucleic acid, no? So merong circular, linear, and separate molecules. I already gave some examples of this in the lecture, no? So I also expect you to understand this, no? So for example, yung mga segmented na molecules yung segmented yung RNA nila. A very good example of this is the influenza virus. Okay. Then you have the uh, different types of or classifications of virus. I also defined what bacteriophage is, no? So these are examples, no? But yung bacteriophage, this might be the first time that you encounter this term, no? So this is the virus of bacteria, okay? So malilito yung iba, nalilito, bacteria siya ng virus. Hindi, siya yung virus ng bacteria, okay? And this one can infect other the many different types of bacteria, but can it infect humans or animals? No. Okay. So this will only infect the your bacteria. Okay. Next is the taxonomy. So I expect you to understand how to name a family and a genus, no, of a virus, and the different classification. So sorry, babalik ako dun sa first slide ng virus. So, this classification, I expect you to have some understanding of this classification. Okay, I emphasized already in class what are the main examples that I have shown, no? So, for example, si Rhabdoviridae, this is an example of a bullet-shaped virus that is single-stranded RNA, no? And then you have the smallest virus, which is Picornaviridae. So, um, have some familiarity. So in the exam, I expect you to be familiar with this slide. Okay. Next is yung viroids. I have provided this example of the viroids, no? The PSTV and the prions. So yung prions, what I expect you to understand is how they are formed, no? So paano ba nagpo-form yung prions? We already discussed what biogenesis is and the difference between the normal protein and the abnormal protein that is found in the neurons. So you should know this and review this for the exam. Okay. Any questions with regards to this part? Okay, so we can move on. So this was the quiz, no? And let's move on to cultivation of bacteria. So for cultivation of bacteria, we have this topic of bacterial growth. I expect you to know the differences between these different types of reproduction. I already gave some examples of this, no? Yung conidiospores, dito siya sa Streptomyces, yung fragmentation of filament, dito siya sa cyanobacteria. Yung binary fission, this is the method by which most of our bacteria will replicate or reproduce, no? And then we also discussed about generation time. So just a clarification, yung iba merong nagtanong sa akin. So they asked, yung generation time lang ba yung nagdi-dictate nung chronicity ng disease? So no, that is not true. Okay. So sometimes, no, Um, so yung generation time, syempre, it's an important factor, but it's not the only factor that will dictate how susceptible somebody is to a particular disease or infection. Okay, so meron ding host factors, the host immune system, so that plays a big role in how fast the bacteria will grow, if um and how how fast it will cause disease, right? So the bacteria needs to reach what we call an infectious dose before some symptoms can occur. So, yung generation time, isa lang siya dun sa mga factors that will dictate how fast or how slow somebody will become susceptible to a particular disease or infection. Okay? So that's just a clarification. And then you have the process of binary fission. So I expect you to know the sequence of this process and what is the sequence of the phases of growth. And in each step, no, I already discussed this, no, but for each step, ano ba yung uh, nangyayari or what happens in each of these phases? Then we have methods of obtaining pure culture. I discussed this in the lecture. In the lab, I also touched on this a little bit. No, what's the purpose of this? This is for us to get some isolated cells, no, or so that they can grow into these separate colonies or what we call single colony or individual colony. So that we can say that this came from a pure culture. No? So if we take one of these colonies, these are bacterial cells that arose from a single bacterial cell. Okay, so yung objective natin pag ginagawa natin yung streak method is to separate the bacteria into single colonies. Okay, and I think I emphasized that streak plate. No, nakita nyo rin yung streak natin sa lab. I also wanted to take note of the difference between the pour plate method and the spread plate method. So if you watch the video of the gram staining for the lab, you will notice they use this method, the spread plate method, wherein there's already agar on the plate, and then you put the inoculum and you spread it, and then you have the growth of the bacteria. But in here, I hope you understand that the difference between the pour plate and the spread plate is that in the pour plate, wala pa yung agar doon, no? Wala pang laman to. You add the bacteria and then you put the melted agar and you swirl this, no? And then you have the growth of the bacteria on the agar, okay? So magkaiba tong pour plate and spread plate, but we have seen this example in the video in the lab. No? And then you have the culture media. So this week, we studied what agar is and why it's used. And then we also have the definition of the defined and complex. So I expect you to know the difference between these two. And also some examples here. I don't need you to memorize this, you don't need to memorize that, but you need to be able to understand bakit ito chemically defined, bakit ito complex. Okay? Next is the anaerobic culture. No? So yung iba't ibang examples natin dito for anaerobic culture, we have the reducing candle jar, CO2 pack. So those are some examples and I expect you to know or understand how they work. Then we have selective media and differential media. So I gave you the definition. So you should know what it is and what it's for. So saan siya ginagamit. So here are examples of the selective media and differential media. So you will use this in the future. So I expect you to know this. Okay? So paano gumagana yung mannitol salt agar? Ano yung components niya? So you have the mannitol, the phenol red indicator, and what component it has so that it will inhibit the other bacteria. Pati yung maconky. So I already explained to you that this will have this red indicator, neutral red indicator that will tell us something about the bacteria. So I expect you to know how this works. Okay. Next is demonstration of microorganisms. So this is all about microscopy. So what I need you to understand here is the difference between the types of stains. So what's the difference between simple, differential, and special stains? And what are the examples within each? No? So simple stain, ano yung example natin? Differential, ano yung example? Special stain, ano yung example? And then how it works, no? So bakit merong acidic dye? Bakit may basic dye? And saan siya dumidikit? Okay, so where does it stain? What does it stain? And then you have the examples. So here we discussed thoroughly what's the purpose of the gram stain. and then what are its applications, as well as the acid-fast stain. So we also discussed this in much more detail in the lab. So I expect you to understand these things, right? Then you have microscopy. So yung microscopy, this one is the units of measure, no? So I expect you to understand this, yung size, and the different categories. So what's the difference between bright field, dark field, phase contrast, and fluorescence? What are all these used for? So yun, tatanungin ko yun sa exam. And then, what's the mechanism? Bakit ito compound? Bakit ito simple lang siya? So, anong diferensya nun? And saan siya ginagamit? So, ano ba to? Ano ba tong example na to na binigay ko sa lab, ay sa lecture? So na-discuss na natin yun, di ba? And then you have the electron microscopy. So, there's two types, no? Then, so I expect you to understand and be able to tell the difference between the TEM and the scanning electron microscope. So, ano ba yung TEM? Alin yung SEM? Pagka, ayun, yun na lang. Okay? Sige. Are there questions with regards to this? No clarifications? So yun na, sa TEM and SEM, I expect you to know the difference between these two. And the last part, no, classification of bacteria. So here, we discussed about how these bacteria can be classified. We talked about this extensively. So, yung phenotypic and genotypic classification. And then we also talked about the methods. So when we're talking about the genotypic methods or genotyping, no, we're talking about the DNA of the bacteria. So we need to understand how we are able to study and what's important about these methods, no. So I'll fast forward to this part kasi what I want to emphasize here is the generation of methods. No? So the different generations of methods for bacterial subtyping. So we already mentioned that yung mga phenotypic, no, yung phenotypic classification. This involves us looking at the characteristics of the bacteria. And, yung mga characteristics, ginagamit din natin siya sa numerical taxonomy. Ito yung tinatawag nating operational taxonomic units. These are examples of operational taxonomic units, or what we call OTUs, that is used for numerical taxonomy. However, nowadays, no, pinaka-importante is the classification of the bacteria based on their DNA. So, yung molecular subtyping, there are different generations of methods, no? In the early days, yung first generation, ginagamit, second generation, third, and then fourth, no? So, ngayon, nandito na tayo sa future, nandito tayo sa DNA sequencing. Yun na yung pinaka-common na ginagamit. However, I included this because I want you to understand ano yung mga early methods na ginagamit for classifying or what we call subtyping bacteria. So, I expect you to know what's the first generation, second generation, third generation. And to be able to explain these methods, no? So, in general, okay. So for example, plasmid profiling, we know this is a first generation method. And how does it work? So I already explained this in class, no? So you need to be able to understand how it works. So next is, this is the example for second generation method. So yan, nandun siya, di ba? REA. So, para saan to? Ano ginagawa dito? Anong mechanism ng molecular scissors? And uh, how are we able to cut these pieces of DNA, diba? We use these enzymes. So, just be able to understand, what is this. So that's the that's the example for second generation. Then you have example for third generation. So, etc. So I expect you to be able to differentiate what is first, second, and third, and fourth generation. Um, so far, I think that's it. Do you have any questions with regards to this anymore? I provided some supplemental videos, no? By the way, can somebody or anyone in class or all of you know if you have an issue with accessing the videos, can you let me know now? So for example, yung nag-embed ako ng Jove video in the Google Classroom for PCR to show you how PCR works, how next generation sequencing works. Can you click on those and let me know if you have access? Nandun yun sa Google Classroom. Because if you're having a problem accessing that, you have to let me know now so I can fix it. You can tell me in the chat. So please click on this and let me know if you're able to access the video resource because that will be included in the exam. Everyone has access. Can you see it? Okay. So si Christine said it can be accessed. Some people say needs subscription. So you can use your UP email. Can you try, so si Beltran and Gonzalez, um can you try to log in using your email, UP email? Because we do have a subscription. Okay, so somebody said it works using UP Mail. Yan. Okay, so once they sign in, okay, thank you so much. Okay, thank you for those who tried to access and were able to do so. So that's all of that is included in the or at least no uh, the information in the videos, they may be part of the exam. So just make sure you were able to watch it. Ayan. So yung mga iba dito, I don't expect you to memorize, but be familiar din naman. So dinagay ko din yan kasi examples yan ng mga third generation methods. Okay, so si MLVA, si pulse field gel, and then ito fourth generation. So okay, so far, I think that's it. Unless you have any questions, clarifications with regards to this part, then we're all done. You can speak now if you want, or you can type it in the chat. Okay, so if there are, okay, somebody raised their hand. Sige.
Dun po sa second PowerPoint, meron po kasi po dalawang heading na culture media tapos types of culture media. Different pa po ba yun? Siyempre different po yung content nila. Pero tama po ba na culture media po yung slide previous po? Types of media culture.
Examples of, so
Hindi po.
design
Nasa mga paunang slide pa po. Before that pa po. Yung, ayan po, culture media, tapos the next slide po, yung types
just
of culture
definitions
media.
of terms. Definition of terms lang to.
Sige po. Thank you po.
Anything else? If there is a class on Friday, no. Wala nang class on Friday. So we don't have class on Friday.